Hello and welcome back to another UMLO news update, and it is July 2025, and we've done a lot in the last month and really have a lot planned going forward. But let's talk about one of the first things that we did after the last update is we did a video on my first review in Sparx Enterprise Architect. This was for early adopters to help acclimate them to the review capabilities within Sparx. You can do reviews on anything, your own personal work. You don't have to be in a SQL or a team environment. You could be writing a book. You could be working on a project, a presentation for your business, and you could be doing a review for the things that you're doing research and development on. Then we did a video on smart placement again, and it was important for me to bring that up. Some modelers were having a problem or frustrated with smart placement when they had elements that were too close together and they were snapping where they didn't want them to snap. So we basically showed modelers how to turn off temporarily smart placement, but I use smart placement 95% of the time. And then when I'm cleaning up models or starting to lay out models, I might turn it off so that I can organize the elements anywhere I want very quickly. Then we did a video on auto naming and numbering. I think that people started to see this, modelers in particular, and were fascinated by the power. And when did this come about? And I said, well, it's been around for a long time. So it's a very important feature or capability, set of capabilities within Sparx to allow you to build elements on the side and then come back with your naming convention and change things around. Auto name and number them and set them up so that they can be easily understood by you and the team. Following that, we did an episode on custom reports for early adopters, and I had a few modelers that were still having problems, I should say, with creating their own custom reports, applying logos, and doing things that were necessary for them to tailor their business, the documentation around their business. They may be working with clients and they want custom reports for their business, and they didn't understand how to extend existing canned reports or even start from scratch on building their own custom reports, and how simple that can be. Now, while I do RACI, R-A-C-I, or responsible, accountable, consulted, or informed models using tag values, we had a request to use stereotypes instead. So we did a video on how to extend your stereotypes to support RACI objectives in your modeling. Following that, we did for early adopters another video on linked documents. Some subscribers had seen how we did linked documents. They were more advanced in session, but I wanted to get into a couple of areas in particular in linked documents and how easy they were to access, apply, and manage. Following that episode, we did a session on how to dress an element with intelligence. You all learned in this channel how in Sparx Enterprise Architect in the SQL database, how you can apply notes, names, properties to elements. You've also learned how to take advantage of journals, discussions, and tag values, and much more. So what we did was we put a video together that very short and easy that shows how to bring all that together to apply the right intelligence at the right time to the right element. Then we did an episode on my first script using AI. A couple of years ago, AI wasn't very good at Sparx scripting, a lot of errors, and it actually was faster for me to create scripts without AI. Last year, it got a little bit better with new releases of ChatGPT and Grok. And now this year, it's so much better. It's almost error-proof in what it's doing. So whether you want to create a script using VB script or JavaScript, ChatGPT or Grok can create those scripts for you that you can copy and paste into your Sparx environment and run your auto scripts based on your requirements. Now, requirements is mission critical. If you're not putting in the right requirements into your AI platform, you're not going to get the right results. So we wanted to put something out and talk more about that as we're going forward. Following that episode, we finally started our episode on MDG, Model-Driven Generation Technologies. And I couldn't wait to get to this. And I was actually motivated by a subscriber that their shop is developing MDGs and they're having some issues with, or some challenges, I should say, with distribution. So in one of our episodes, one of the parts of this multi-part series, we're actually going to get into distribution of the MDGs that you create and see if we can achieve the same results that you all are looking for that are developing MDGs. Now, this is an advanced session for advanced users, and it's going to be about 5, maybe 7 episodes, but we'll see how quickly we can get to it. The most important thing is to get through it in a way that you all understand it step by step. Just a very simple, basic MDG, and maybe we'll do stuff in the future that's a little bit more complicated. It's model-driven architecture. It's model-driven modeling. So this is going to be a real fun episode or episodes to go through, and I really look forward to it. It's going to be so much fun. I couldn't wait. And the next day, I released an episode on preparing your environment for MDG development. So we got that out. And next week, we're going to be publishing the 3rd part of this multi-part series on MDG development, where we're actually going to develop an MDG. For early adopters, we published a video on tags made easy. I was in an environment with some modelers and they were asking questions on how do I get the tag values again? And they were struggling with the tabs across the top. And we finally got to it again. And then they remembered, but then I reminded them that from the properties window right next to is the tag tab. And you can actually do everything right from that tab. And then once they learned that, it was just a real opener for them. So tags made easy. It's very easy to create tags, manage tags, and then test tags as you're going through your modeling experience. So what's planned for the rest of this month and going into August of 2025? Well, the first video is going to be, as I stated a moment ago, building an MDG technology. So we're going to work on that, and then we're going to work on MDG technology distribution. In between these sessions, because Tuesday is advancing, and then Thursdays is early adopter, we're going to be doing some early adopter sessions, such as my first constraint. We just did one on my first tags, and we've already done one on my first stereotypes as we're going forward. But we're going to continue to work on the MDG technology series. I want to get to a video on using versioning software such as SVN. We had a subscriber that wanted to learn more about that or has had some challenges in that area with their team and shop. We use Git repository in our shops, but I've used SVN a long time ago. So I have to reinstall it and set up Tortoise SVN and show how Sparx can integrate with SVN. I just want to say, whether you're using Tortoise or something else. So after that, I need to do, I should say, a review of a recent build that came out. I talked about this last month, and that's Sparx version 17.1, build 1710. And there's some things in there that are good, and then there's some things I didn't care about, but I want to cover as much as I can each time Sparx comes out with a new build or major release. So we've got a lot going on in July and August. I really want to get, and it's probably going to be in August, to other tools other than Sparx. And the first one's going to be Plant UML. We're going to do a session on installing Plant UML, and we're going to do a session on integrating Plant UML with Sparx. I work with a lot of data scientists and developers that use Plant UML, and it does a really good job for modeling, but not necessarily documentation. When you start bringing these worlds together, everything opens up. So I look forward to getting into that. So that's going to be where we are and where we've come from and where we are planning on going in the next month. Again, continue to provide your challenges and your feedback and comments below. Let me know what your challenges are. Let me know what questions and concerns that you have about Sparx. And as we get into Plant UML, and then eventually we're going to get into Draw.io, and I'm going to be doing some reviews of other modeling tools that are out in the industry, because Sparx is not the only tool that I use. I use quite a few tools for different reasons in different situations, but still Sparx is my favorite, and I consider it to be one of the best modeling tools in the industry. So I really look forward to that. And until that next episode, happy modeling.